Thank you so much for being here. My name is Jen Maestas. I'm the program director at CAST. I'm so excited to see you because I absolutely, love the field of teaching. I've been doing it for a really long time. I won't bore you with how long, but it's a long time. You can ask me later. And two, I love teachers. Teachers are, I think, absolutely the salt of the world. You do crazy things every single day, and you keep doing them. And you can never tell what you're going to do because every day is different because you have so many students. We're in the people profession, and people are fun, and people are weird, and people do weird things sometimes, and educators continue to show up. So we're super excited that you've chosen to spend your time with us tonight, and that you've chosen to enter into a really amazing profession. I was just talking to my friend Gladys back here, who, by the way, thank you. Gladys is part of City Education Partners. They really help us in a big way to fund opportunities for teachers to enter into the profession in lots of different capacities. And I was just telling her that I don't think we tell enough good stories about teaching, and there are plenty of good stories to tell. And so I want to encourage you to not sit at your table, but to actually get up, move around after you've enjoyed the delicious food that Anastasia has put together. And Anastasia is right back there. She's our educator engagement. Tonight is because she put this together. So thanks, Anastasia, for your work. But I want to encourage you to get up and meet other people. Your name tags have kind of specific instructions. Some of them say future teacher, and that's so that we all know who's about to enter into the workforce and who we should really be congratulating. Some of our future teachers are still high school students, which is really incredible. They already see a path for themselves in the field of teaching. And so we really want to foster that and nurture that as they think about college and think about teacher residencies. And then we have our residencies from our partners, Texas A&M San Antonio and UTSA. So those of us who are already in the profession have name tags that say ask me about, and there's a prompt. So we want you to really go find, if you have an ask me about, go find a future teacher and let them ask you and talk to you about your decision to stay in the field of teaching. And I also want to say really quickly before I give the mic to Julie that I have an amazing team at CAST. And I used to think that my career path was very linear, that I would be a teacher and then an administrator and then go work for the district. And I found out that there's this really amazing space in education around school design. And we're really lucky to be part of that school design movement in San Antonio. So I want to just give due praise and credit to the CAST team that's here too. So if you're a CAST team member or a CAST principal or a CAST assistant principal, we just wave at everybody so we can say thank you for letting us be here. Tonight we're going to hear from Julie, Dr. Julie Riedel. She is our faculty in residence with Texas A&M San Antonio, and she's got lots of good things to talk to you about, and she's brought some of her residents here, and they're going to share some of their experience with me too. So come on.
How did your faculty in residence support you throughout your residency? What were some of the things that you could articulate that helped you? Kathleen?
So not only did they allow us to use the activities that we've learned in the classroom, but they allowed us to plan and even make assessments of our own, just to get that full-on experience. And it's been super beneficial just so that we can start seeing what works and what doesn't work. And aside from that, just like Ivan mentioned, we've gotten a lot of support from our mentors and from each other. More than anything, I did want to answer your first question. So, not unlike the traditional route, we were able to see the transition between August to December when the kids are all excited for the holidays, and now when they're excited to leave for the summer. So that whole process has been very interesting to see.
Alrighty, the next question, Brianna. What was the most impactful experience or lesson from your residency that you still rely on to today?
Am I allowed? So there's a lot of things, but that I rely on today is, I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
What are the most impactful experiences or lessons that you've learned from your residency that you're still using now today?
Okay, right. So a lot of the things that I'm still using today is really remembering to model. Miss Riedel would do a really good job of modeling when she would pull me and the other 2 student teachers I was with at the time for group sessions or anything like that. She would always model what she was doing. When she would give us feedback on, if she came to observe us and she was giving us feedback, she would still be sure to go and model how that is supposed to look, especially if we were struggling. I knew that I could go to her room and I could say, wait, how is this supposed to look? And she'd be like, okay, let me show you how to do it. And she'd be able to model it. So that's what I hope to instill next year, officially being a mentor teacher. I hope to always try my best to model how something should look, how a lesson should go, how an interaction could go, really that modeling.
What's been some of the unexpected benefits of mentoring this year so far?
Some unexpected benefits. It's definitely helped me reflect on myself as a teacher. Mr. Peterson has been awesome with my just in the short time that we've spent, and really made me reflect because I realized I wasn't as thorough or as organized as I should be. So it really made me go back and rethink. And this is my first year teaching AP Human Geography in a while. So I had lessons, they weren't great lessons, so it gave me the opportunity to do them again, and then also like explain to Mr. Peterson, this is what I'm changing because it didn't go right when I did it this time, so I know how I want to change it now, and taking the time and showing him like this is how, I'm going to change it to hopefully make the lesson better.
Okay, this next question is for all of you. Reflecting on your time as a CAS teacher in the CAS Teacher Residency Program, what accomplishment or contribution are you the most proud of, and why? What contribution are you the most proud of, and why?
So one of the contributions, which I feel like made a huge impact, not only on myself but also on the students, is just the connections. I've really never been, as far as the traditional route goes for field residency, like FR1, I never really managed to make those impactful connections with the students. So being a part of the year-long residency has really enabled me to make those connections with the students and really have them know that I'm there for them. Versus the traditional route, I would be there one day a week for a certain amount of hours. The students didn't even know my name. I just walk in and out. So that's one of the biggest contributions and impacts, in my personal opinion, just the relationships I was able to foster with the students, which is why I got into education. I love history, I love different subjects, but I love the relationships that I can build with them, and I was able to do that this year. So that's one of my biggest accomplishments.
Kind of like what Ivan said, I agree. I made a lot of connections with my students, and it honestly has made me grow personally and career-wise. Additionally, I've also realized that through that I've learned how they learn, and I have never realized that not everybody learns the same way. So allowing to cater my teaching to their learning styles has been so powerful because it strengthens academically and personally the relationship that you build with them. But also, I've talked about this, it's kind of touchy, but a lot of the kids don't have role models, and so to be able to have someone there for them academically and personally, it has been super, super inspirational.
My biggest thing, and I guess my biggest success story, when I started student teaching, I had 2 people that I consider my mentors. So it was Mr. Bettis and Mr. Sleater, and they were great mentor teachers. I learned so much from them, but specifically, and I always talk about this, is they showed me how to work their gradebook system, how grades are input, how that website works. So when I started my first year teaching, I didn't have to figure out wait, how does this work? Wait, I don't know how to do this. Wait, I don't understand. I didn't have to try to figure out, wait, I don't understand how this lesson plan works. I don't understand how this works. I already knew everything, not everything, but I already knew how a lot of systems in place worked. And so I didn't have to wrap my mind or get stressed or feel like it was a lot, because sometimes it can feel like a lot. And so when I was student teaching, I had started a club with a group of kids that are now seniors this year, and they were freshmen at the time. And so I took those students, and my first year teaching, I started the academic decathlon club. And that year we brought home, I think it was 32 awards. Every single student placed in an event. We placed second overall. I was able to, I'm also the class sponsor for the class of 2024, which is this graduating class. And I also just submitted my final two components 3 and 4 for my national board certification. So being in the year-long residency really helped me and gave a chance for my mentors to sit down with me, show me how a lot of systems in place work, because even if I stayed at that campus, which is CASTEM, or if I went to another campus, I would already kind of understand, okay, this is how this works, this is how this form is supposed to look, this is how they want us to document this, and I wouldn't have to feel like it's overwhelming. And so I really appreciated that, because I was able to, and this is my 3rd year teaching, and I was able to accomplish all of that. So that's kind of my biggest takeaway from this.
I only have 2 more questions. What strategy do you love implementing the most? What strategy do you love? This is cold turkey here. What strategy do you like implementing the most?
Just off the top of my head, I can think of a strategy that I did in my classroom with my mentor teacher. She has a multitude of different strategies, if I'm being frank. But my personal favorite was this strategy called hexagonal thinking, and it really made the students work together and get the answers and share the answers, and it was just a great collaborative activity. So I think that's one of my favorite, but not only that, I learned a multitude of different approaches, but also in our Wednesday class, we were able to feed off of each other, right? So all the other students in the class, maybe I was talking to somebody in teaching EC through 6th, and they had a strategy that worked for their kids, and I would maybe try it out in a future classroom with my kids. So there's always different ideas, different strategies, but definitely for sure, hexagonal thinking is one of my favorites, and I plan on implementing that in the future. So.
One of the strategies that I really appreciated, I actually learned from both of my mentor teachers. It's called Chiles y Quesos, and I teach Spanish, so when it comes to learning a new language, you really do have to learn a lot of new vocabulary. Sometimes it doesn't sound like the English, so you really have to go through like a repetitive cycle of trying to remember certain terms. And basically what this does is I ask questions very repetitive, and the kids answer in complete sentences, other kids chime in with their reactions, and at first I thought they seemed very bored from it, but we recently did a reflection on their proficiency, and a lot of them got a lot of information from that activity, and not only that, the person who had the most got to be Canta Ninja, which told us who was going to call the shots and tell us when our brain breaks were, so.
You don't have a,
Maybe I do.
No, I probably don't. At the beginning of the semester or at the beginning of the year, they didn't know what a strategy was. Am I right? Yeah, they were like, what? Okay. Okay. Think of one thing, reflecting in your time, that you're most proud of. And share that, and then we'll wrap it up.
Sorry. So one moment that I feel most proud of this year is really the end, the completion phase, right? I mean, I enjoyed the journey. It was amazing. I learned a lot, and I met a lot of great individuals. But really, this point in time right now is one of the best moments that I'm most proud of, just because, you know, we were able to stick with it. And I'm sure a lot of other people in the program share the same sentiment, because it wasn't easy, right? It was times where we felt like giving up, times where we just were overstressed. We had other stuff going on, right? Life. But we stuck with it, and that's why I feel like this is one of the proudest moments. You know, when we got to walk the stage, it really just verified the hard work, you know, and reassurance.
One of the proudest things that I guess I'm most proud of this year is the fact that I found my teacher voice and allowing students to really identify me as a teacher and not just another body in the room. And so they recently gave me, once I graduated, a little book of all their thoughts and memories that we had together, and it was super emotional, and I'm so proud of being the person that I have for them.
So mine is actually about this graduating class of seniors. I had them when they were freshmen, and I was the one, and I would tell the kids, guys, I'm kind of learning some of this as I go. And I think Eddie was saying, when we were over here talking earlier, he was even saying, there's just something about this graduating class, and I have been saying that the past 4 years that they've been at CASTEP, there is something about this graduating class. So I had them when they were in 9th grade, I had them when they were in 10th grade. So it was really nice to grow with them and then kind of release them to Miss Skidmore, and she...
You still help.
Yes, I did. Release them to Miss Skidmore, and at least help shape in the beginning, and just seeing where they're at now and their growth now, and now they're graduating and jobs and colleges and universities and so many exciting things. So I'm really, really proud of that.
Thank you all very, very much for taking the time to meet us. Anastasia, thank you. And